Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about prophecy. Okay, I've spoke about prophecy on several of the videos. I have had some pretty prophecy type predictions that I had made in the past, and some of them, strangely enough, have come true. I've been lucky enough to, whenever I got a little bit of a vision, I would go ahead and try to tell somebody about it and try to write it down and make sure there was a record of it before it actually happened. So, in some of the prophecies you can read about on our channel were pretty interesting and almost got me in trouble several times, and you'll see why. But I'm not going to go into those because I've talked about them before. Today, I want to talk about a kind of a current event I thought was pretty interesting. And this was about a guy named, let me see if I can get this name right, Ino Ilaric. And he claims to be a time traveler, okay? And he claims to be from the year 2671, which is kind of interesting. That's just like, wow, that's out there for sure. It's a lot of years from now, 600 plus years. So he splashed on the internet and he came up with these five predictions, and he actually gave months and he gave years, and it's coming up soon, and that's what I really liked about this, because in the same way, when I had a little bit of a vision or a feeling or whatever it was, typically they were fairly reasonably close, and I could get it actually to, in some cases, to the day, and even like the morning of the day of something happening. One example, I'll give you just a real quick one. I wasn't intending to do this, but was when President Reagan got shot. I had talked to somebody at work for me, and I wrote on a calendar, one of those flip calendars, I wrote something, to the effect that the president, there was going to be something happened to the president. I don't want to go and say, I don't want to say it on the air, but obviously, and when she flipped over the calendar, it happened that day. So it was like, wow, that is crazy. And there were several other ones that I had going forward. I haven't had any recently, I will tell you that. I just haven't. I have some profound feelings about things, just kind of a heaviness, and sometimes something does happen. Just before the COVID, a month or so before COVID happened in the world, I had that same foreboding feeling, and but I didn't know what it was. I really didn't. But I think, the bottom line, everybody, it can be a prophet. They just have to pay attention to their feelings and pay attention to their visions. And I think everybody has that opportunity. It's just how they prepare to look for it. And I kind of known for a long time, every so often I would get those feelings. So I paid attention to it. So anyways, going back to this time traveler, let's start with the first one. The first prediction he made is that on November 30th, which is not far from now, say about 5 weeks or so, I guess it's 5 weeks or so, he said that a new planet that would be fairly identical to Earth would be discovered by the brand new James Webb telescope. And I believe that. I believe that very well. If it doesn't happen November 30th, it'll happen sometime, because there's plenty of planets out there fairly close to us, I'm sure, that have similar view or look very similar to the Earth. So I think this is very possible. Will it happen on the 30th? I guess we'll wait and see. I don't know. Number two, this is an interesting one. Shortly after November 30th, December the 8th, he is talking about aliens landing or crashing, I guess. In this case, I would say it's probably crashing rather than landing, but I guess landing in a giant meteor. I guess the comment I'm going to make here is that these have got to be kind of like new aliens or something coming from some far off place. I can only guess, okay? And I don't know how that's going to all interact with the aliens that are already here on Earth that have been among us for a very long time. So that'll be interesting, and of course it'll be quite spectacular if it happens. So that's another date to put on your calendar, December the 8th. So we'll see. Who knows, right? So the next one is this is for February 6th. Now I'm trying to keep these reasonably in line. February 6th of 2023. In this one, he says a group of teenagers will discover or open up a wormhole to other galaxies. Okay? So, hey, I think that's very possible. There are Stargates here. We've had Stargates here for thousands of years that other aliens have brought here, and they were able to move in a very quick fashion between points in the universe. So, I guess these would be humans discovering this, but I think that this is very possible. Now, will it become public? I don't know that. It's very possible. Next, number 4. This would be, he predicts that ancient species will be discovered in the Mariana Trench. Now, for you that don't know, the Mariana Trench, I believe, is in the Atlantic, and it's extremely deep. It's actually deeper than Mount Everest is tall. So I think it's actually 2,000 feet deeper. So it's that is very possible. There could be things down there. There probably could be an underground alien base. Who knows? I don't know that, but it's obvious that. It's been said that the oceans are as strange, or we know as little about the deep ocean as we know about outer space. So I think that's very possible, that something could be discovered at that point. Now, again, will it be made public? But let's note that date. That date was, let's see. Well, he said, March. It was just March next year. So I guess this one will be pretty close to the last one. It didn't really have a date on it. So, in the last prophecy is kind of interesting and scary for us personally here, Rainbow and I, because he states that the West Coast will experience. And this will be after March. Now, let me see. Does he have a date on here? Well, darn. He didn't really put a date on here at all. Let me just look. No, he doesn't have a date. So I'm going to guess it's going to be after March of 2023, since it was the last prophecy he made. And that one was a tsunami would hit the west coast of the United States, and it would be 750 feet. That's huge. That is extremely huge. Although, they've seen some historical records that there have been tsunamis on the west coast of several hundred feet. So maybe this is not far off a historical record. And it especially will hit San Francisco, which is very vulnerable to tsunamis. If there was one, and it was even probably 30 feet, that would be devastating, okay? But this is 750 feet, okay? So that's pretty incredible. Not completely out of the possibility of it happening, but it would be totally devastating. Seattle would be gone. Portland would probably be gone. Every large city pretty much on the coast in California would be gone. And moving inland. Okay. So with all that said, I think this is an interesting one because we can kind of watch it and see if anything happens. Now, for me personally, and Rainbow personally, if November 30th, okay, let's go look back on November 30th, if there is an announcement that the James Webb Telescope has found this very similar Earth than ours, and they're all excited about it, and who knows, there's probably Earthlings on there or aliens on that planet, etc. I don't know if they'll say that, but even if they just acknowledge that there is a similar planet, I will tell you that I'm gonna freak. I'll tell you why I'm gonna freak. We live on the West Coast, and we live about 500 feet above sea level. Now, we're not that close to the coast, but it's very possible where we live, we could be affected by a 750 foot tsunami. So, anyways, we'll be heading for the hills. So, with all that said, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like us, please like us. If you can, please subscribe. We need your subscriptions. And as Roy Rogers always said, happy trails until we meet again. Bye-bye.